Nice to get back to the things I understand. But I gotta say, I mean, I've spent so much time in places like Germany and England and Ireland and where I was on this tour that, there's all these weird, I always mess up this word, but familiarities about, about going over there and certain things I missed. And like, it's even hard. Like the first time I see a German breakfast spread,
Yeah.
which includes just the most delicious rolls and spreads you've ever had in your life, it's hard not to gorge, and like everyone's like, oh, what, did you have too much beer? And oh, do you do cocaine out there? I'm like, no. German bread is my vice when I
Right.
get out there. Yeah, but it's strange. It's like even in the fall, like in New Jersey, if it's like 50 degrees and I walk by somebody smoking a cigarette, it reminds me of Germany,
Right.
and it like takes me right there. So it's kind of cool to reconnect those sensories and you know and go to places I've been so many. It's a strange thing for like a person to say, like, or it's a strange thing for me to say when I'm like, well, it's like my seventh, eighth, ninth time in Berlin.
Yeah.
So I don't like feel the need where I have to go out and be a tourist anymore. I can just like kind of do the things I like and not make like the early traveler mistakes, like for instance, we had a half of a day off in London, and there was the tube strike going on where the tube operators are striking, where it's so bad that even like Coldplay canceled their show at Wembley and stuff like that. And sort of late in the day, and I wanted to go to Carnaby Street, which is a great like shopping area where they have a restaurant called Mother Mash that does proper sausage pie and mash,
Mm.
but vegan, which
Mm.
is, and I've been there a lot. It's amazing. And I was like, you know what? I don't have the juice. I just don't have the juice. I gotta chill. I was in the Hammersmith area, so there's plenty to do around there. But I felt bad because our drum tech, Mitch, who we brought out, was his first time in England. And I was like, oh man, like I feel like I'm disappointing him by not taking a tube ride and going down to Carnaby and this and that. But we start walking around Hammersmith and we're looking for something to eat. And, we pass all these places. And I know from dozens of times of being in London that there's only two things you should eat there as an American. You should either eat like classic, good pub food, which is where like the good, fresh, homemade food is made there, or curry.
Yeah.
Like those are the two things you should eat in London. But an American eating, some sort of weird continental food, Mexican food, pizza, anything like that, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. And my many times in London, at least, like I felt good where I found a place. I'm like, this looks right. Let's look at the menu. We got proper pies, nice cask beers, and I felt like a good, experienced traveler that day. And I gave Mitch a good experience. But I think that's something that's changed, and something that was palpable when I was traveling this time was I used to really focus on like the day as an entire experience, and now I think because of my energy levels being older, my physical problems, all sorts of stuff, it's all about the show, and like everything that happens before the show, like doesn't matter because I'm at work, and I used to not really view it like that. And it's actually like kind of relieving, it's like, yeah, you know what? I am in Edinburgh. I haven't been to Scotland in a while, but I'm in this weird part of town. I know I'm in a weird part of town because I've walked around here before. I don't feel like going into town. I gotta, you know what? I'm going to lay down for 20 minutes, read my book, and actually play a better show. So that's some new old man touring shit that was pretty noticeable.
I love that, and the shows seemed absolutely electric. Following along on all the social channels. How you feeling? I saw the Instagram of your hands torn up. How was that getting back into the swing a bit?
Well, that's fine. That was to be expected, and actually, that didn't get as bad as I thought it would.
Yeah.
If this was like 10 years ago, those hands would have looked look, they went through a meat grinder. I'm a much more controlled player than I used to be, but there's no amount of practice you can do to get your hands ready for that stuff. And I was expecting some holes. So that part was fine, to be expected. I think it took, not a couple days to knock the dust off, because I think all the shows were good, but by a certain time I really did feel, while we were on stage, that awesome special connection was happening again between like us and the fans while we were on stage. And like, I was convincing myself by the day that we were worthy of the ticket price and worthy of all the fucking hoopla, and that, this is a worthwhile experience for people to go to, and we can do it together, and kind of this, the thing that makes like the whole thing beautiful and not just a business. Like, I felt it and it was there, and I'm stoked about that. And musically, what's cool is like, individually, none of the guys, myself included, stopped playing music. So it's kind of like, when you haven't seen like a niece or a nephew in like a year or two, and they're just, whoa, you got big, like some of the guys, I'm like, listen, I'm like, oh shit, you got better, like, and I think because of that, individually, like, we all kept playing music and we all kept honing our crafts, separately from each other. And now when it's back together, you can actually really feel that, like, as musicians, I think we're better players, and just older, and have the shit locked down a little more. So yeah, on that side, everything feels great. The only downside for me was like, just, I live in the forest, like, um getting back out there with the traveling, with, the flights, getting out there and jumping onto a bus with, it was a 15 capacity bus with 15 people in it. It was tight, man. And it was like overstimulating, and took a few days to kind of get back into that like tour mode of completely seizing any idea of control in certain moments, which is so antithetical to the way I live my life at home, because it's all about like, oh, we're doing this, come on, guys, like, I'm bossing around a group of people all day. And then you're like, oh, wait, right, I'm at the will of the machine, and I just got to be part of this, but it's hard, and it's a little scary. I had a couple panicky moments, but figured it out, and I'm alive back in my weird office. And yeah, so I'd say it's party bonus.
I love it. Just giving it all up, and just, honestly, I think most people need that in their daily life. Just something to come along and be like, you know what, you're not in control here. You're not in control as much as you think you are. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's definitely something about tour that can make you feel like just this world is operating, and you're just this strange little piece in it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's definitely puts you inside of the gears and kind of makes it more apparent than it does in your daily life.
Also, and shout out to our big fans and friends over at Dime Store Forum, keeping stats on this
Oh,
tour.
come on.
Did you guys
Analytics. I was so stoked. They know that too. They know I'm a fucking stat nerd. And they were like, yo, Benny's going to love this. And I did. Oh my God. I eat those stats up when I see them. I'm going to start ranking songs. I'm going to have like a Hall of Fame soon. I'm going to do the whole thing.
The fact that Handwritten is like your star player, and like Senior, and like the Queen is on like the vet minimum. It's like the Udonis Haslam.
And like Sink or Swim is like Mr. 3000 now. Like, people are just dying for Bernie Mac to get another hit. They're like, come on, play Johnny so Bernie Mac can get 3,000.
I love it. Shout out to them. Looking forward to that on the upcoming.
They've been awesome.
Yeah.
They've, like, all the Dime Store stuff's been awesome. It's like such a cool way to witness your own band, with someone doing such nice documentation of it. Like, it's pretty cool. And Gaslight historically has always been fairly awful at self-documenting. None of us are particularly nostalgic in that way. So it's good to have, for sure.